Hello everyone, it's Andrew from Jam TCG here, and today's video is the long-awaited video for how I use a scanner to list my trading cards. And a lot of you guys have been asking for this and been kind of slacking, so I wanted to make a full video now to show you guys how I do it. And one thing I want to point out is that the scanner I use is the Epson DS870. It's a commercial grade scanner, and I use it because TC or Epson scanners work best with Macs, and I have a MacBook, so the Ricoh just simply did not work for me. And another great thing is that TCG Automate and Epson are partners now, or Epson is a sponsor of TCG Automate, because I just really like the product and I reached out to them and they were interested in it. So we are working together on this, which is pretty cool, honestly. And that's not even the reason why I did all that, but it's just because it's a great product and I figured it would be helpful for everyone else. And so if you have a different type of Epson scanner, it's going to look a little bit different than this screen, but overall, the concepts are the same. You'll have the ScanSmart app, but this one is the document capture app. And let me try to just show the full screen. It's a little bit hard, but maybe if I zoom out. So, okay, this is perfect. So when you get to this screen, this is just what right here, the document capture app looks like on the Mac. And to get to there, just basically for whichever scanner you have, this applies for all scanners, just type in the name of the scanner you have and then driver. And you will find a page for that specific scanner that has the download available. So let me just show, let's just say Epson DS870 driver. And then you'll see a page like this. It'll be the first thing. You just click on it, and then right here you choose the operating system, and you'll choose whichever one you have. So I have the Mac OS, I believe 15. And you just click go, and then you download the driver. Whichever thing shows up for you, you just download it, go through the steps, and then it'll be all ready. So that part is very straightforward. Make sure you're on the actual site and don't go to some scam website or something, because that could be pretty bad. And then now I'll show you guys the actual setup of the scanner. So for this one, I'm honestly not as tech savvy when it comes to hardware stuff, but a lot of people in the TCG Automate Discord were sharing tips and it was super helpful. So first thing I learned is that if you take out this roller, so this is what it looks like if you got this roller, and it's kind of hard to show, but if you press in on these two things, my hands, but if you press in, it will open, right? And you guys see some weird stuff going on in here, but I'll explain that all later. And this piece would be kind of in there like that. So that's what it would look like. And then when it's closed, you see the rollers right there. So what I do is I just took it out and closed it up. But then I learned after some more recommendations that if you tape down this piece right here, like you just tape it shut, and that will help prevent scratching. Also, I tape down, well, it's rubbed off now, but if you tape down these things, this part that I'm touching right now, if you tape down that, it helps with preventing it from being scratched, but obviously it's not perfect, but it's worth giving it a shot. And then a big thing that you have to do, which again, learned from someone in the Discord, is that put something by where these springs are. You see this blue spring? I just put a piece of bubble wrap. Someone was using cotton ball or something, like a Q-tip looking thing. So use whatever you have that could fill that gap, and it will prevent it from feeding in 10 cards at a time, or at least that it worked for me. I don't know if it'll work for you all, because see, this is what I mean. If you tape it down, it'll be shut. It'll be down here. So then you won't have to worry about it scratching. But I'm just going to take it off for now, just so I could demonstrate it properly. See right here, it's holding it well, because the tape is on the backside, and then this one will go forward. But for this one, I don't know what happened. It just got stuck or something. So let's close it up. And then a key thing for maintenance purposes is every once in a while you're going to want to take the rollers out and clean them. So what I do is I just run them under hot water. I don't even know if that's recommended, but I'll rub it under hot water and then wipe it off with a cloth so that there's no dust or anything. Because if you've been dealing with cards, you know that cards can be pretty dusty sometimes. So just making sure you're cleaning them is very important, and it'll also prevent it from that instance where it's the rollers are running, but the cards aren't being picked up, and that is usually a cause. It's usually caused by when the rollers are dusty. And then the next important thing, which is also an effect of having dusty rollers, is that the camera part and this lighting part, they get dusty, and then it causes those scratches in the, not scratches, but it causes those lines in the pictures. So what I do is this is a mic, I don't even know what it's called, but it's like one of those cloths that don't scratch things. I think microfiber, I don't know. But I wash one of those, get it a little bit damp, and then I wipe these to clean them, and then I wipe it dry so that there's no watermarks or anything. And that's pretty much it for inside of the scanner. And to get this out, you just push these like that, push it out all the way, and then you push this forward. Put a little bit of pressure, but don't worry because it just goes right back in. And you push this down, and then you pull it out. So it's pretty simple. A lot of these things are brand new to me because I was not fully aware of how these things worked, and that's why it's so important to have a good community base and good people around you that are helping each other, because I would not have learned all this stuff without them. And this thing's bothering me, but anyways, once you're done, you just put it back together like that, close it up. Then let's get on over to the actual software part. So when you're on the software part, there's these settings you could change, which you need to add settings, you just click this plus button. And then what I do is source, keep the same, pick double-sided. For the document size, you're going to want to pick auto detect. So this way it automatically crops all of the edges and borders, or like the excess edges. Image type, I just go to color, so that way it doesn't change it to black and white, if anything. Rotation, keep the same. Resolution, I do medium, which is 300 dpi. You can do 600 dpi, but it's too slow for my liking, and I know it improves the quality marginally, maybe a lot more, but I don't think the extra time it takes is worth it. But that's more opinion based, so don't blindly follow that advice. These three I leave blank. You could do text enhancement if you want, but I don't know. I actually no, not I don't leave all of them blank. Correct document skew you will want to do, because otherwise it'll, like, one picture would be like this, one picture might be slanted like that, slanted like that. So you want them to be all exactly upright. For the output, pick whichever directory or folder you want it in. File type, you're going to want to do JPEG. I don't recommend PNG because PNG files are much larger. So when you're uploading them, they are slower to upload. And especially on TCG Automate, the JPEGs are just way faster. So you're going to want to do that. Prefix character, pick whatever you want. I think I would leave it blank, to be honest, because when you're saving the files, I'm going to show you guys a very important tip that's going to help save you a ton of time. And then for destination here, you're going to want to put none, because for some reason when I was picking something here, it would say there was a duplicate, so I didn't know how to fix it, and the only fix I could find was just to pick none. So then that's all that part, and then I'll show you guys. When you're ready, you take these cards and you're going to want to flip them over and backwards. So this is what it looks like. So it's upside down and backwards, right? And then you just put it in. And this, actually I didn't. So you just put it in like that. And this scanner can, I believe it's up to 100 cards is what it could hold at a time. And you don't have to. I'm just doing it just to do it. So then I have them loaded. And then another thing I learned from one of the people in the Discord is to use that ETB box like this. And I know it's not the best, but it works pretty well. And I should get some padding or something like bubble wrap to put on there just to make it better. But for the time being, that's what I'm using. And then you go here and you click scan. And then this page pops up. And for here, you're going to want to do few things. So for main settings, make sure it all looks right. So double-sided, auto detect, image type is color, no rotation, correct document skew. And then for the advanced settings, you don't need to change anything here unless you're doing cards that typically show up darker. And for some reason, Magic the Gathering cards show up a lot darker for me. So I upped the brightness to 32. Contrast and gamma, these are the default values. So I didn't change any of these, but 0 and 1.5 is what they were. And then once you're ready, and actually, one other thing. A cool thing is, let's say I lowered this to 10. I don't know if you could tell, but this thing kind of changed. See that? So it kind of shows you what an example would look like, which is pretty cool. And then you just click scan, and it's feeding, and you just make sure it catches them. So super fast, and then the images show up here. And you're gonna want to make sure that there's no lines showing up, because a lot of people mistake the lines for scratches, but they're actually just dust lines, which still looks bad. So you don't want to have that. And also, what I do is I'll feed more cards in, because this is going to be an actual batch that I'm listing to TCG Automate. So if it can't feed all the cards at once, I just keep putting them in. And I typically do 100 to 120 cards at a time, because why not? I don't know, it just works for me. And it's still relatively fast to pull them when doing the chaos sort. So that's just what I do. And I'm going to let this just continue running and then show you guys what the next steps are. So now they're all finished, and this is the last image I got added. And then when you finish, there is this folder icon right here. And actually, let me just show you guys the cards first. So the cards are right here, and there's no scratches really. I don't see any scratches unless I'm missing something, but it takes good care of the cards if you do those things, and it's very important, because if you're scratching, and Magic cards are actually much more fragile than Pokemon cards, from what I've learned, and it still didn't scratch them. So what I do is I'll write the batch name on this divider, and then I put it, and then go to my inventory, because it was before it. It's MA 184, so that's the 185th batch. And then this is the key tip that has saved me so much time, which is when I go to save it, this thing pops up. It's just like the settings, and I will type in MA 185. And then I just click, it saves them. And then the part that I'm talking about that's super helpful and time saving is I go here, and then I just type in the batch name, because that's skew. Also, this is TCG Automate, in case you were wondering. And I've been uploading Magic cards, so it's pretty set up for me. And then I upload it all. It's Battle for Baldur's Gate. So I have all this set up, and then what I do to save me a ton of time, instead of like going here and just dragging and going all the way down, and then making sure I'm not overlapping my selections, I'll just search MA 185. And then I just click Control A, open, and then it adds them all. So this way you don't have to waste time looking through the file names and making sure you're selecting the right one, because that is super time consuming, and it is taking me so much longer to do that. So instead, just naming the batches, or naming them in the order you need them in, is very important and very helpful. And then obviously, once you're ready, you just submit the batch. But pretty simple. Obviously, people are concerned about scanners damaging cards, which it's fair to think that and be worried about that, because I'm not going to say, oh, it's 100% safe to the cards. But if you put the proper things in and you take care of it pretty well, it is very safe, and it's safer than most people handle their cards, because like, a lot of people say, oh, it scratches them. But then if you actually look at how some people handle their cards in their inventory and when they're dealing with them, they're scratching them more than what the scanner would do. And they're making whitening on it. They're dinging the edges and the corners. It's very easy to point out one culprit, but there's many other ones that will cause damage to the cards before the scanner actually does. And again, just make sure you're regularly cleaning the scanner. You're not letting dust and debris build up in there, because it'll cause lines on the images, and then it also might damage them if you have that dust in there. Because think about it, it's like rolling through the dust. And truthfully, I think having a scanner is the probably the second best item you could buy as a seller. The first best would be the thermal label printer, but having a scanner is very important, and it's a huge time saver, if anything, especially if you pair it with TCG Automate. It's not even like it's unmatched, to be honest. But I'm very glad that Epson is a sponsor of TCG Automate, and I definitely recommend their products. Even if they weren't a sponsor, I would still recommend their product because it's just what I use and what I prefer to use. I've been using their scanners for the last 4 years, or 3 or 4 years, and I've never had an issue. It's always been my favorite. And I have some links on TCG Automate for recommended scanners if you want to check those out. Or if you want to just check out other ones or other Epson scanners, you could definitely do that. Thank you all for watching. And if you need more advice or tips on scanners, just let me know and I can make more videos because I know there's a lot to cover. And I don't know if I missed anything, but if I did, feel free to reach out and I'll gladly make another video.